Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my gorgeous Cancers. Happy November. This is your November 2025 reading. This will be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Many of you are intuitively guided. That means that your spirit guides nudged you this way, and I thank you for paying attention to your intuition, as I'm sure your spirit guides do. Your spirit guides will use whatever means possible to get a message to you if there's something that you need to hear. Um, you could certainly be in love with the Cancer. Same thing. Just know that your guides know you're here. As a matter of fact, feel comfortable asking your guides in a reading, really in any reading. Um, that's a practice I would start doing is like making sure you're paying attention to your intuition, asking your guides, is this reading for me? Um, and I'm not putting down short videos when I say this, but especially when you watch a shorter video. Um, and I only say that because I don't know that you can get all the details, or at least the way I read, I should say. Um, but that's just a practice I think is good for all of us. Like go into a reading, intuition wide open, um, spirit guides standing ready, like letting you know. You should feel goosebumps. Like, you can even ask your spirit guides to give you some sign of confirmation, like a word, a number. I say random things all the time here. Matter of fact, that's why my name is the Rambling Psychic, because I know a lot of times those are your words of confirmation. So, answer. Um, I just got done doing the horoscopes for everyone for November. They're like 3 minutes long, but yours was pretty juicy, I have to say. And um, I like that I've been releasing them and then doing the video afterwards because we'll see if they align, but I already know they will. We are going to check on your love life, no doubt. We are going to check your money, your career, and just whatever is going on in your life. Anything that your guides want you to hear. I am an open vessel of the light for them. Um, so let's go ahead and I even put crystals on the cards today. So let's go ahead and open up the reading. And let me tell you, oh, I want to tell you real quick. I know it's the 30th of the month, but I am doing a October special for personal readings. Now, this is for people who buy a personal reading in the month of October. And I don't mean to sound abrupt when I say that, but some people thought I was just giving away a free reading. I am giving away a future free reading for anyone who buys a reading in the month of October. I did the same thing for September, and I feel like I got such a good response from it. That let's do it another month, and I may continue. We'll see. I may continue. I definitely have some things that I want to give away, like some tarot decks that are new. That I just happen to have multiples of. So I'm going to try to do some giveaways. Um, and you know what? I will definitely do it in the month of November. I was just thinking like Black Friday and Christmas shopping. I don't want to think about that. But so whatever I give, I'll make sure it's new. So if you want to give it, you can regift it. All right. So Cancer, we will have Mother Mary open up your reading. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. We're going to use the major arcanas for the bullet points and for their own special little message. And today we're going to use the Universal Tarot for your main spread. So let's go ahead and open up the reading. It's funny, I always say open up the reading, but then I think to myself, well, really, the reading opens as soon as I hit start, because sometimes I do have messages from your guides, but they usually let me feel, you know, if a reading's going to be good, if it's going to be like, prepare yourself, Sandy. All right. We have feminine. Interesting. Feminine. This is like the Empress. I allow my feminine nature to shine brightly as a valuable part of my identity. Feminine. I have a feeling. I have a feeling that's here for a reason. Action. Like the Ace of Wands. Action. Today, I take action related to the priorities that I have previously put off. Action. Feminine and action. I have a feeling your feminine energy is being called for a reason, but we'll let it be for right now and see what wants to come out. So let's go ahead and bring out the major arcanas. And anyone new, I do this really for bullet points. Just something I started doing, I don't know when, and I just feel like it brings so much value to the reading. So they do make it longer, but all right, we start with justice. Justice, cutting of ties. And maybe what Mother Mary is talking about. What I would ask yourself is something feeling unbalanced in your life. Are you feeling unbalanced? And do you know the source? If you know the source, then you can use that sword of justice. I often feel that sword is a gift. It's not a one-time thing. It is a card of the law, and it can certainly represent, like someone who wants a divorce and maybe you've been putting it off. I would never tell you to go get divorced, but I have to read what's in front of me. So I know that sword, and I feel like action. I feel like they go hand in hand. We have, well, the death card. So a chapter has ended, and it is time for transformation. The death card talks about a rebirth. A lot of people fear the death card, but you shouldn't. It just means one door has closed, but another door wants to open. I have a feeling using the sword is going to be more important than ever. Interesting, because even in the death card, it's like a sickle, right? And the sickle is used to what? I think it's a sickle. But it's to cut away the weeds and whatever is not allowing the flowers to blossom. Hello, lovers. Hello, lovers. Cupid's influence over the lovers. Like he's just getting ready to shoot that arrow. Like I found my lovers. This is a card of Gemini. The meaning is a head over heart decision. But I have a feeling, especially because Mother Mary is calling for your feminine energy, that means nurturing potential love. We'll see. And I feel like you have a lot to do with this, like whether you decide to use that sword or not. I don't feel like it's for the lovers. Or let me say it a different way. I don't feel like the sword is like eliminating one of these lovers. I feel like the sword is for someone else, and this maybe what waits. Well, we know it, the lovers is in the next door, right? If you look at the death card as like a door that needs to close so that the next door can open, well, the next door is the lovers. Head over heart. Hmm. I get this sense that it could be some of you, you could be in, let's just say, a partnership, but you may not be in love anymore. And it may just, you've gotten comfortable being comfortable, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because the death card is asking for transformation, but I don't feel like it can happen until you make a decision on whether to use that sword or not. Again, follow my head or my heart. I feel like it's talking about your heart because it's mirroring the lovers. And Mother Mary bringing out feminine. And you are a feminine sign. Doesn't mean if you're a male. Um, just means that you're naturally loving, you're naturally nurturing. But something, it feels like, doesn't feel like your cup is full. Let's put it that way. All right. I don't think we need any more. And even though I don't read these as signs, I will give them to you. We have Libra, Scorpio, and Gemini. Let's put them up there and we'll know exactly why they're out. Actually, I'm going to slide them over a little bit. All right. Let's bring in the Universal Tarot. See if we can find that other lover. Not that they're necessarily lost, but hopefully our guides will direct us. Okay. Using that sword of justice, I have to tell you, and I know you guys are sick of me saying this, but, us being in that final ninth year, and then a brand year one starting in 2026, we're in the year of the hermit for a reason. And we are really meant to do some spiritual reflection, but also clearing. You know, um, I guess the best thing to ask yourself is who and what do I want to take along for the journey of my next 9 years? You know what I mean? And plant those seeds. Plant those seeds. Visualize. All right, we have the Three of Pentacles, and there's that Ace of Wands. So that's kind of matching Mother Mary, right? The Ace of Wands. Number one, it's passion ignited. So for whatever reason, whether it be love or a project, an epiphany comes to you. I often feel with the Ace of Wands, something can start as an epiphany and turn into a full-blown business. It's whether you decide to grab the ace or not. It ignites the passion within you. And it doesn't have to be like on one thing because, again, we have the lovers. So I have a feeling that's part of it. Then the Three of Pentacles also. Three of Pentacles is a very creative energy. It is really when you're kind of getting lost in your craft. And the message of this is about, appreciating your individuality. Like there's no one else like you. There is no one else like you. You are one of a kind. You're one of a kind. And this is really about the appreciation also of what you do, of who you are. If it's in a love reading, then I love it because it means that, let's just say the lovers, that they can feel very comfortable in their own skin, that both will appreciate each other for exactly who they are. And that doesn't mean perfect because there is no one perfect. All right. So I kind of like that Ace of Wands, like wrapped around love, but also wrapped around money. It is coming under justice. So I have a feeling, again, there's that energy of using that sword. That sword is becoming more and more important, I feel. Seven of Swords. Interesting because it flipped itself around in the deck also. And to me, that means it really wants me to pay attention to it. And unfortunately, the Seven of Swords is a difficult energy. They call the Seven of Swords Thief in the Night. This is, and by the way, it's coming under the Death card. So, do I know a door needs to be closed now? Yes. Seven of Swords means there's someone around you that, for whatever reason, you cannot trust. This is not trustworthy energy. I often feel this person tells a lot of lies because they don't want to face the consequences of their own actions. But I get this sense that, if this is someone who lies a lot to you, I feel like you know that now. You know that because I feel like that's exactly what you're thinking about. Whether it be love, whether it be friends, whatever it may be, whoever it may be, I feel like their day has come. This chapter wants to end. And honestly, I don't see a lot of reasons to keep it open. But that's free will. And your guides can't, they can't make you use that sword. But they can, this Ace of Wands, it may be igniting something within you, like your heart chakra. And maybe you don't even know the lovers exist yet, but it's like all of a sudden this feeling comes within you. Like, I just feel like there's something more out there. Like there's someone out there. But I do feel like you have to take a chance. And I know using that sword is easier said than done. I know that. But I also know that when you use that sword, what it does is bring balance back to you. It makes you whole again. That's what justice's job is about. What's fair and just in your world? Well, this Seven of Swords is not fair. It's not just. It's not balanced. And it may be keeping you off balance. This is not wondering if there's someone who's giving you reason um, to think that either they're not being faithful or that they're lying to you. And my God, Cancer, your heart can't take that. Your heart doesn't deserve that, is what I should have said. Your heart can take it, but your heart doesn't deserve it. We have Five of Wands. So a lot of drama and a lot of fighting. Probably over this Seven of Swords. I may have been like, where you been? Nowhere. Well, you've been gone for 3 hours. Where'd you go? Store. What'd you buy? Nothing. Then you didn't really go to the store, did you? Yes. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Look at that, the Four of Wands, the marriage card. Interesting. Did these come out also? Wow. I don't remember these coming out, but here they are. The Eight of Pentacles. Well, I love that under the Three of Pentacles. High Priestess, your intuition. Interesting because it's mirroring justice. So your intuition is letting you know, like whether you should use that sword or what you should use that sword on. You may be second guessing it, but your intuition is probably pretty clear on it. But that doesn't mean the action part of it is easy. Um, but will it be worth it? I feel like yes. Let's keep going. We have the Four of Pentacles. Interesting because just look at this image. Four of Pentacles talks about one's foundation, but this can also talk about resistance. And look at how this person is hanging on to their money, their pentacles. Coming under the Seven of Swords, it's almost like I have to protect my money. Is someone dipping into your money? And then the Seven of Wands. Wow. Standing your ground. I feel like believe what you know is the truth. Believe it. And if who's ever in the Seven Swords tries to tell you otherwise, you have to look at the source, where it's coming from. It's coming from someone who doesn't have a problem lying anyway. Not only that, but I feel like they would fight you tooth and nail versus telling you the truth. And then you may say, well, I'm cutting ties with you. And then all of a sudden they'd be like, no. But I feel like someone's got their hands in your money. Yet you're hanging on to it at the same time. The only thing with the Seven of Wands under the Five of Wands, Seven of Wands is about standing your ground, but the Five of Wands is just so full of drama. And to me, it's very egotistical type energy. It truly is where no one wants to back down. Like if I'm trying to get the truth out of this person, I just don't feel like I'll get it. But I feel like I already know it. I already know it. So I don't think fighting with them, and it probably has already happened. I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure it's happened multiple times and probably a lot. The five is about change. Another thing you may ask yourself is there someone where you feel like you're constantly putting out their fires? Like they get in trouble and boom, you're the one who has to go in and fix it. And then they do it again. Like I just feel like you're tired of this energy. And so you should be. This Four of Wands, some of you, it can mean like that the sword of justice, it can be a marriage. But here's what I'm really, and I'm not going to leave that off the table. But I am also looking at the Four of Wands mirroring the Three of Pentacles. Well, this is someone who, in this energy, because this is about a true connection, in this energy, this is where someone is looking at you and appreciating you for all that you do, all that you are, and you doing the same. Sometimes there's like a secret admirer in that energy, like someone that I don't know, like let's say I do my work online and they follow along, or they do something very similar to what you do. Because right below it is the Eight of Pentacles. I could see this also being related to work, where there could be someone like stealing your ideas and therefore stealing your money, right? It's like whoever comes up with this idea gets a bonus, and you have that perfect idea, but somehow they get a hold of it and they claim it as their own. And that's just a scenario, but like that's the type of energy I feel. So whether it's love, work, or a combination, we have justice. This is your spiritual team, and they are calling you to the present moment. They are talking about a rebirth. So is the death card. But they're talking about the signs that they're going to send you. And these signs are in the present moment. It's in line, with your intuition. So that's probably how you receive these signs. Like it's going to be a feeling. Um, but spirit will do whatever they need to do to make sure you see that sign. Feel like they agree with me, as in this Four of Wands is yet to be, even if it was also part of this. This is still something new. And Judgment is mirroring the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is the willingness to go into something as the apprentice, but knowing that one day you will be the master teacher. It answers questions also like, how do I know that I'll be successful in my new endeavor or even in my new love? It tells you whatever you focus on is what you're going to grow. And you can focus, and you should focus on more than just your money, focus on money and love. If you choose. If you choose. It makes me feel like, well, I was just going to say that you have your money together, but some of you may be going through something. Um, Again, if this has anything to do about a job, I have a feeling it's a job that you may have thought about leaving anyway. Like, I get the sense enough is enough, like you've had enough. And I feel like you had the wisdom to either go out and get another job or create a business for yourself. The Eight of Pentacles is a reminder that you don't need to know everything. You learn it as you go. It's like me doing tarot. When I started, I really knew nothing. And the only way I learned was by doing it. So that's kind of what the Eight of Pentacles represents. As you continue to do something, you only get better and better and better, as long as you focus on it. But it is representing your individuality, and making money, like making money from who you truly are. So your ideas. Remember I said the Ace of Wands for some of you could be like an epiphany, and you could take that epiphany and then create a business for yourself. Well, that's what I feel like the person is doing down here. All right, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The Strength card. Card of Leo. This is about overcoming, but it is looking within. It is finding courage, really. Strength card is looking at the feminine and the masculine within ourselves, the light and the shadow, and really finding balance. You have a few cards to talk about balance, but in a balanced life, everything just flows. There's no resistance against the flow. Judgment and death card tell you change want to happen, but it has to come through you. And listen, I feel like once you use that sword, I feel like you just naturally open up the door to what's next. All right, let's bring out the crystal vision and let's go over this. Let's go deeper. I love it when judgment comes to the table because we are reading through our spiritual team. All right. This eight here is eights are about new beginnings. Also, the number of infinity. And it's a sense of knowing that you're not alone. And here is your spiritual team walking beside you. It's like they know what's going on. And they're trying to let you know through your intuition. And I feel like you do know. That's the thing. I feel like who's ever in that seven of swords, you are very aware of that. This is not a prediction of what's to come. This is already going on, or it has already gone on. We have the Seven of Pentacles over the Three of Pentacles. First of all, Seven of Pentacles is your tree of life. And its first message is patience. But because judgment is out, the death card is out, I feel like that period is over. This is more, and it makes sense that it's more about action now with the Ace of Wands and Mother Mary saying action. So, Seven of Pentacles means that one of these seeds, and these are the seeds that you have planted, one of them are coming to fruition. Probably more than one. But it really means that, when I see the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like everything that we've read up to this point, it was meant to happen. And I know some are like, the Seven of Swords is meant to happen. Well, your soul probably wanted to experience it. Maybe it was karma of a past lifetime, and now it's your turn to experience it and pay that karma off. And it simply may mean that you don't accept it. But there are new seeds that are coming to fruition. And I love that it's like right for you. And because of, I feel like it's a sense of being who you are again, like being your true, authentic self. And it feels like there's a reward for that. And maybe it's the cutting out of this drama, like I'm not going to get pulled into it anymore. And that may be like the end of the test. And it's time for something new to now develop. Those who are dealing with anyone difficult in a work situation, I do feel like there's going to be a way out. I feel like whether you decide to leave where you're at, do your own thing, whatever it may be, I feel like your spirit team is going to help guide you in that area. So just try to stay as open as you can. And, if you get a sign, but you're uncertain, like, was that a sign? You can certainly ask for that sign again. The hangman. Hang on, you move too fast. So the hangman is seeking wisdom, spiritual wisdom, but to use on this earthly plane. You are literally asking whether to use that sword or not. And I have a feeling when you use that sword, this turns around. And that becomes a spiritual awakening. But I feel like you're already on your way. You're already on your way. Some of you are, I feel like a spiritual awakening is not an overnight thing. It's when we start really living a spiritual life. So you're seeking that wisdom, right? But the high priestess is right below it. And the ace of wands is like like it's go time. So I feel like you're receiving the wisdom that you're asking for. It's just, what will you do with it? I do know some of you have been in the type of relationship where people have gone silent or they're just not, I don't know, like sometimes they get mad. Um, Dang it, because it's hard when you fall in love, right? But then you fall in love with someone who doesn't value you the way that you deserve it. But you have to know that also. All right, we have the King of Swords over the Seven of Swords. We have the Nine of Wands over the Five of Wands. We have the Devil, card of Capricorn, over the Four of Wands. I like the Nine of Wands over the Five of Wands because the Five of Wands is where the drama lives. But the Nine of Wands is your reflection. It's you being truthful with yourself. And it is looking back, but not with judgment. You're looking at it with a different perspective, looking at it how you have grown, what you have overcome, the experiences that made you who you are today. And they were not all easy, let's face it, especially what some of you may be dealing with right now. It's interesting we got the devil over the marriage card. And I feel like, unless that's a Capricorn for you, it feels like energy you were probably tempted to. And the devil is great at casting illusions. So is the Seven of Swords, right? Trying to make you believe what isn't true. But your intuition and judgment, it's like, here's the light, and it will reveal the shadow. All right, holy cow. We got a lot, but we're taking them. With the Knight of Cups, we have the Queen of Cups over the High Priestess, which I think is you. There's the Empress. There's the Feminine. Look at that, the Ace of Wands again. Under that Nine of Wands, it's like this reflection, but looking at it again with a different perspective. Not like, what the hell was I thinking, but more like, what did I learn? I feel like, this King of Swords kind of feels like, normally this is someone who has integrity, but because he's coming over the Seven of Swords, ooh, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And the Empress right below him, the Empress, she is loving, she's nurturing, And I feel like the Queen of Cups moving into the Empress, I feel like it's you. And I feel like it's what you have learned along the way. And that's probably why the Nine of Wands, again, is so important because then the Ace of Wands is right. It's like, okay, I know who I am today and I know what I deserve and I know what I need to do. And boom, the Ace of Wands gives you that inspiration. And I love that it's also following the Empress, the creative one, the one who's always receiving, like we all are receiving ideas, epiphanies, what have you. But this is someone who takes that epiphany and creates from it. Like she can create true wealth for herself. And the one of the lessons she's learned is not to shut her heart down. Doesn't necessarily mean like I'm out looking for love. She's probably busy doing her thing. But that doesn't mean love won't find her. May find her right where she's at. And I feel like this is part of what you've been learning, like something emotional. Um, but I do feel like it's gonna serve you. You know, using that sword is what's gonna give you courage. And then you never lose that courage. And that's why the Empress, she doesn't shut her heart down, right? Her intuition is her guard, right? Like if someone's going to love you as the Empress, well, they better come to the table right. Because there's no way someone with the Seven of Swords could talk the Empress into loving them. She would see it, she would know it, she knows how to read energy. And it's not that she's mean or cold, she just knows. She knows what's right, what's wrong, what doesn't feel right, what does feel right. Hello, soulmates. And look at this coming over judgment. It's like your spiritual team is telling you. Some of you are giving someone a lot of time who doesn't really deserve it, or doesn't deserve it, when there is a soulmate that is yet to enter. And I know that because coming over judgment, this is what they're trying to get your attention on. And that may be, again, why Empress and Feminine are both here. And then, hello, Ace of Pentacles. Well, remember the Seven of Pentacles right here, your tree of life? Here's one of those pentacles. This means something is coming into your physical world. It starts as a seed, but if you nurture it, which the Empress would, then it will only grow and blossom and continue to grow. And I feel like and it throws off new pentacles. Like, I don't feel like it's a one time thing, but I feel like it's saying a soulmate is like coming into your physical world. Oh my gosh. And no wonder I felt Spirit saying, don't get hung up on that Four of Wands, this one here, right? Because for some, I feel like I definitely felt that it was old and new. And now I know that I'm right. And that didn't sound right, but now I know that what I was feeling was right. Because here it is again, and it's following the Ace of Pentacles. So it's very clear that your spiritual team is igniting chakras, probably heart chakras, letting you know that there is this soulmate energy. It is not this person, unless they were karmic. And that could be the case. And that just means that you yourself in a lifetime were that person. Like you carried that energy and now you're in this lifetime kind of paying it back. But it's to learn that lesson. And I feel like the lesson is not to accept it, is to know one's worth. And once you no longer accept it, well, then karma is paid off. And, with hard lessons come beautiful blessings. And that's exactly what's happening here. Here's the hard lessons. Here's you wondering what to do about it. Yet your intuition is singing like it's singing to you. Your spiritual team, they're singing to you. If nothing else, they want to remind you of who you are and what you deserve. And it just simply may mean that they're trying to get you to understand this chapter has come to completion. There's nothing left. Like, I feel like your cup is empty. But it's just empty with this person. But here's soulmates. Here is marriage. And with the Empress, yes, please. What's she under? The Four of Wands. Well, or the Four of Pentacles. So, a strong foundation. And the Empress knows that. Like anything I begin, I want to begin with a strong foundation. That has been part of the lesson she has learned up to this point. I mean, wow. I feel like some of you have a secret admirer, and I've felt this before. I think I felt it in September. Like, if you decide to use that sword, and if it's love related, I could see you changing your status to like single and somebody else picking up on that. I don't see any energy of anyone from my younger years, but that doesn't mean, whoever this soulmate is your soulmate, period. And it's mirroring the lovers and judgment, and just how judgment or your spiritual team, our spiritual team, made me feel this Four of Pentacles, Four of Wands, the marriage card, you know, like I didn't feel an ending. And that's because it's not real, right? It's not what it's meant to be. This is real. This is real. And this is you being your strong, authentic self within it. And this is, when you look at the Three of Pentacles, that brings out the Seven of Pentacles, it's bringing in these aces. And here it is. I feel like, this has been an emotional lesson or an emotional experience. Hmm. I feel like everything starts with the using of that sword. And I get it. It is a head over heart decision. And you're seeking spiritual wisdom? Well, baby, I feel like you're finding it here. Now, not that I'm telling you to use that sword if you're not ready to use that sword. But I think what I'm meant to do is show you, like, what lies on the other side of that door. Sometimes you'll see the death card where there's a key that unlocks this new door, but the person isn't, they're still focusing on the past, so they can't see that key, but it's in clear sight. So the reason why I'm saying that is I feel like the key that unlocks that next door will be in clear sight for you. And it's really comes through action anyway. So you have a soulmate. I mean, I knew you had a soulmate. I think I just want to ask if there's any other messages I might be missing. Whoa. We have the Queen of Pentacles. Oh, and look at this, the Emperor. How did I know the Emperor was going to come out? I just knew it. I just knew it. And there, my friends, is our power couple. Now, these two fall in love, which is exactly what it's showing. Like, the world is their oyster. They can collaborate together. They can create a business together. They can help each other. They're both leaders, maybe in different ways. The Emperor is methodical, where the Empress is much more freedom going, but she follows her intuition. But they both want to help the underdog, and I have a feeling they both probably you know, that Seven of Swords energy, and maybe that's how it started. Like, I just thought I was helping. Next thing I know, like, I got to check my pocketbook. Like, money is missing. Whatever the case for you, it all starts with that sword. I can't help but keep saying that because that is what unlocks the next door. Not that it's even locked. It's ready for you. Some of you can be a twin flame, but let me tell you one thing. Let's say you think that your twin or your soulmate is also in the Seven of Swords energy. I just don't think I just don't think that's the case. Soulmates are very nurturing to each other. Twin flames can definitely pose harder lessons, but I don't feel like twin flames, either one of them would be in the Seven of Swords energy. So, why I'm saying that is some may have given some a title of a twin flame and therefore feels like they have to take all the bullshit. Well, that even if you're on a twin flame journey, you don't have to take the bullshit. Matter of fact, you shouldn't, because it really is about each twin evolving. And if they haven't evolved and come together, then it is hard lessons. We are the mirror to each other's souls, and whatever has not been healed, we will know it through the other. But I do not think that the Seven of Swords is anything other than either a karmic lesson or a free will decision. Like, I just kind of got stuck in their web. This is your love. And when the Emperor comes out, one of the first things I think about the Emperor and the Empress, these are people we can look up to. These are people we can trust. These are people who lead with their heart. They're nobody's fool. Don't get me wrong. They have been there. They have done it. They've gone through all the experiences of the kings and all the experiences of the queens. And they've healed it. Doesn't mean they never got stuck. They're human, right? But it's like reaching this energy. I feel like that sword is really just bringing you back to your true Empress self. That's what I feel. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles that came out, I call her my psychic detective. She's the queen that will figure it out. If there's something going on behind the scenes, she'll figure it out. She'll know it. And I feel like this is part of you. So as you find these things out, just be honest with yourself. And I know this cannot be easy for some, but the truth is the truth. You know what I mean? And facing the truth, your truth, the hell with their truth. And why I'm being so tough on them is number one, I don't like the Seven of Swords energy, but then it moves into the Five of Wands. So I feel like, again, someone who, no matter what you say, even though you feel it, like, what were you doing? Nothing. You said you went here and I called there and you were never there. Oh, I changed my mind. I went there instead. But, like, again, the Queen of Pentacles, like, please, Mr. or Mrs., please. Like, I bought that back in the day. I'm not buying it anymore. And honestly, like, I feel like use that sword and let that end. Don't even get caught back up in the drama and get to moving towards what is meant to be for you. You know, the more that we can look at our past or even present and be very truthful with oneself, the easier it is to then move on if that's what is needed. I love that you just got the Emperor and the Empress because if there's any sign who I think deserves to be the Emperor and the Empress, it's you. Not that other signs don't too, but I mean, you truly are empathetic and compassionate, and people can take advantage of that. And that may be part of what you've learned along the way. All right, well, people take advantage of my kindness. So it's not about building walls. That's our natural defense, is to build walls. Our intuition is our savior in a way. Like our intuition lets us know something is right, something is wrong. You probably got red flags back here, but ignored them. Don't beat yourself up because we all do that. That is part of human nature. But then once you know, you know. But my God, I feel like what I'm really trying to get home to you is what is yet to open up for you. And you hold the power. You hold the power. You hold the power. Remember that. Not only is it showing you true love coming into your life, but it literally showing it coming into your life, right? It's like the heart chakra is activated. And then the Ace of Pentacles means physically coming into your life. What? A soulmate. And what's going to happen? The potential of really forever. When you, it's the Emperor and the Empress connected to the Four of Wands, baby, to me, that feels like forever. And I have a feeling this is not your first lifetime. And if it's not your first lifetime, you know, some people would be why would why would my soul want to come down and have to deal with the Seven of Swords? Because our souls want to learn. Our souls want to grow. And that only comes through experiences. And our soul wants some hard lessons. It's like it's what the soul's about. Like, this is our classroom. Life is temporary. This love, I feel like it is not temporary. Like, I feel like even if you don't connect, let's say you just decide, I am not going to use that sword. Well, this love will still be waiting for you. Like when you cross over, or if you cross over first, you'll be waiting for them. Like you're soul connected. That doesn't go away. That doesn't go away. And it's not often that we have the opportunity to have this type of love. And boy, I mean, what a lesson to have right before these beautiful blossoms start to happen. Okay, I don't want to overread this. So I'm going to bring out the clarifying love situations. Like, I feel like your guides laid it on the line, brought it out exactly the way it was meant to come out, and it just makes complete sense. All right. Well, we got a few, but we shall take them. Achievable insight. Embrace practical steps towards clarity, bringing your goals within reach. Achievable insight. Mask realities. Beyond posting facades and cover ups. Dare to unveil the truth hidden beneath. Beyond posing facades and cover ups. Dare to unveil the truth hidden beneath. And dare, that makes sense, right? Because I do feel that at one time there was love. And I know what I'm saying is not easy, but in the long run, the truth is the truth. All right. Turbulence. Heal unresolved conflicts with kindness, not anger. In other words, don't get caught up in the drama. Don't need someone to tell you you're right when you know that that's just never going to happen. Because honestly, look at the source. Like, I don't need someone in the Seven Swords to tell me I'm right. I already know that. All right, hanging on. Release the past and let yourself love again. Answer. Release the past. First of all, hanging on. There's the hangman connected right to justice, but with the Ace of Wands underneath it, it's like I either will or I won't. Release the past and let yourself love again. Not just the soulmates, but we started with the lovers. Okay. Wow. I would say those messages fit perfect within your reading. So let's finish it with the romance angels, even though we don't really need it. Um, because we're really seeing the type of, well, let's put it this way. I feel like the way your life can be is simply amazing. Doesn't mean that every day is perfect. You're normal. There's highs, there's lows. But let me tell you, the Emperor and the Empress, if there's any issues in the home, they're going to work it out. They don't run away. They don't lie. All right. Past life relationship. Wow. You have known each other before. Wow. Past life relationship. You have known each other before. And everything I said about the soulmates, like, I love when the synchronicities happen in this way. So, this is not your first time around. I feel like the Seven of Swords is. I feel like this is more of like someone who does not live within their spirituality, probably doesn't even know what that means. And, I know it doesn't feel right, like putting them down, putting them down, putting them down. But at the same time, I feel like what they're doing to you, I don't know, it makes me mad. But you have a past life relationship. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate, hello, soulmate. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Well, already knows a past life, or you've had past lives together. And we know it's a soulmate, and I love that it says your soulmate. And then we have let go of control issues. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. That's exactly what the Emperor and the Empress would do. Like, I don't need to know, like, do you plan on marrying me on our first date? Just let it flow. Let it flow. And I know it's going to flow beautifully. Even the arguments I feel are sexy. Like, which is weird, but I feel that. I feel this sexiness within the arguments. Almost like we argue and then we just wrap ourselves in each other's arms. Like, that's the type of love I feel. And chances are there's going to be a familiar energy as this comes together. So I'm going to let that be. I already know some. Well, nah, I'm not going to say anything. Um, my prayer is just that you use this sword if you know that you need to, and you allow this next chapter to open, but without resistance. Again, just allow it to flow. It feels like it flows right to you and through you, and this, I feel like, is your forever. So, I'm going to let that be. I want to thank our guides because I feel like they were very clear in your reading, and I love that. So, I thank them. I thank you. I love you, truly. And, I only want you to have this because I love you. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. I will see you next time. Bye bye. Can't wait to hear your comments. Love you. Look, your video doesn't want to